Captain Zorvak of the Valari Expeditionary Science Fleet was not easily surprised. He had studied over 300 sapient species across 7 galaxies. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared him for the humans. The humans had crash-landed on LV-937, a desolate, high-radiation Class 6 death world. Most species would perish within minutes, without class, containment suits, and bioshield generators. Yet somehow, 3 humans were not only alive, they were thriving. From orbit, the Valari watched through cloaked probes, initially out of scientific curiosity, then out of mounting confusion. "They shouldn't be alive," muttered Technician Creel, as he reviewed the atmospheric data. "The oxygen level drops at night, the radiation spikes every 12 hours, and the surface temperature fluctuates between freezing and boiling." "And yet," Zorvak said, "they're cooking something over an open flame and singing." Down below, the humans had turned the twisted wreckage of their escape pod into a makeshift shelter. One was gathering edible fungi with a sharpened piece of metal. Another had constructed a windmill out of scrap to power a tiny battery. But the real shock came when they opened their emergency survival kit standard issue for Terran expeditions. It was laughable. No nanomedical patches. No quantum signal flares. No climate-adaptive bioskin. Just a metal can, a flint striker, a dull knife, packets labeled Instant Ration Beef Flavor, and a small dog-eared book, Field Survival Manual Human Edition. The Valari scientists were appalled. "This isn't equipment," Creel exclaimed. "It's an insult to survival." "Is that duct tape?" Yet somehow, the humans were using it to fix insulation, bind tools, and even treat wounds. When one of them sprained his ankle, the others splintered it using sticks, rags, and unbelievably chewing gum. "Is this some kind of joke?" Zorvak asked aloud as he watched one human pour instant coffee into their water purifier with a reverence usually reserved for religious rituals. "No," Creel said quietly, his fronds twitching nervously. "I think they're serious." Within 3 planetary days, the humans had not only adapted to the planet, they had started improving it. They created a crude water filtration system out of charcoal and sand, stabilized their shelter against radiation storms, using thermal blankets, and established a perimeter alarm by repurposing old motion sensors and some string. The final straw came on day 7, when the humans constructed a small atmospheric condenser to collect water vapor overnight. Using salvaged tubing and a solar panel, they had rigged a primitive but effective system. It was crude, ugly, and completely inefficient by galactic standards, but it worked. Zorvak leaned back in his command seat, his eyes wide. "Activate translation broadcast," he said slowly. "Are we making contact?" Creel asked. "No," Zorvak replied. "We're asking questions." The broadcast was simple. "Terran survivors, your actions have drawn the attention of the Valari Science Fleet. We request explanation of your survival strategy. In particular, we are fascinated by your use of what appears to be a can opener." The humans responded with laughter. One of them, the leader, judging by his behavior, held up the manual. "It's all in here," he said. "Page 47. When in doubt, improvise. When you can't improvise, adapt. When you can't adapt, duct tape." Zorvak blinked his central eye slowly. "This changes everything," he murmured. In the galactic community, humans were considered a young, reckless species, loud, chaotic, occasionally brilliant, but mostly ignored. Until now. Until 3 of them, armed with nothing but low-tech gear and sheer stubbornness, had survived what should have been a death sentence. "They treat survival," Zorvak said, "as if it were a challenge they enjoy." Creel nodded grimly. "I think they call it camping." From that day forward, the Valari would carry a new entry in their xenobiological database. Species, Homo sapiens. Primary survival traits, tenacity, improvisation, Absurd levels of optimism. Recommended approach: do not underestimate. And for the love of the stars, never strand them. Because humans didn't just survive. They adapted, overcame, and probably made coffee while doing it.